My name's Keegan Wilder, and I'm here with my uncle who's a veteran, and I'm gonna interview him. So, question number one. Please tell your name and your friend or family connection at McNeil.
All right, my name is Brad Buckman, and my family connection to McNeil is Mrs. Wilder, who is my sister, and my nephew Keegan Wilder.
Okay. Why did you want to join the military?
Well, I joined the military after September the 11th. After the September 11th, 2001 attacks on the U.S., myself, like a lot of other Americans, joined the military to serve our country.
Okay. What branch were you in when you served? And also, can you tell us what the five branches are?
I was in the Army, the five branches: the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard.
How old were you when you entered?
I think I was 21.
Okay. Did you serve in any wars?
Yes, I spent 3 years in Iraq.
Okay. Can you explain the difference between POW and MIA for younger students that don't understand?
Sure, a POW stands for prisoner of war. It's a soldier who is captured by the enemy and held as a prisoner. MIA is missing in action, and basically that's someone who is missing from the battlefield. They don't know what happened to them, if they're alive or dead. The enemy hasn't claimed them as a prisoner of war. So basically, their status is unknown.
Okay. Have you ever visited Arlington National Seminary? If so, please tell us about it.
Yes, I have visited Arlington National Cemetery. I have a couple friends that are buried there. So I went to visit them and to see the cemetery in general. A lot of famous people, a lot of former presidents, former military leaders are buried there. You have the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier there. It's a very kind of, I guess, sad but very solemn place too. Um, a lot of a lot of men and women that served our country are buried there.
Can you tell us what the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is?
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is basically, my understanding is there's some unidentified remains that are placed there, and so you have guards, I think, from the I know it's like the third division, or not the third division, but the third something of the army. I can't remember exact one. Who are the who guard it, and so they guard it 24 hours a day, all weather. Hurricane, wind, freezing cold. There's always someone out there on guard.
Okay. Can you please explain the time of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier for our younger students?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Could you tell us what time it does it?
Um, as far as like when they do like the changing of the guard?
Yes.
I'm not sure as far as the changing of the guard. I don't know if it's every like half hour, every hour. But what they do, basically, a fresh set of guards come in, relieve those, and then they take over, and then they just kind of repeat the process.
Okay. What was your favorite part of the military?
Favorite part of the military was, I guess, the people you meet. You make lifelong friends. You become pretty close to some of them, like family, and then the shared experience. You get to see a lot of the world, see a lot of places, or a lot of places I got to see that I'd learned about in school, read about in history books that most likely I probably never would have seen if I hadn't joined the military.
Okay. What do you think is Why do you think it is so important for citizens in our country to be patriotic and to support veterans?
Well, the reason I think it's important is our country was founded on some basic principles, and uh, when our forefathers wrote the Declaration of Independence and basically sent all that information to Great Britain, that we were breaking away, we weren't going to be a colony of England anymore. We had to have an army because there was a war, because the British didn't want to allow us to break away. So basically, our country was founded upon our military, and we have a lot of rights that really no one else in the world has. And part of that is because, you know, our military, and, uh, there's a lot of people throughout the world. Um, you take like a lot of European countries, for instance, from World War II that were occupied by Nazi Germany, that they owe their freedoms today to the United States military, and some of the others like the British military and things like that. But that's why it's important. The military is there to preserve freedom, democracy, and we enjoy a lot of freedoms that we probably wouldn't have today if it weren't for our military there to guarantee those protections.
Tell us some specific things for younger students to support veterans.
Um, if you want to support veterans, you can, think, some of the older ones or younger ones, especially those that are still serving, that are still, making that sacrifice and fighting for freedom. Show your appreciation for them if you see them. Tell them thanks for their service. You can volunteer. There's various veteran organizations like the Veterans of Foreign War, American Legion, uh, Disabled American Veterans, things like that, that you can look to volunteer to help in some ways. There's national cemeteries you can help to volunteer for, say, Memorial Day, Veterans Day ceremonies, things like that.
Okay. Thank you for coming and spending your time with me.
All right. Thank you. It was an honor.